Good evening. Take a minute to look at this image. In a state of panic or perhaps ignorance, it would seem many of us have misconceptions concerning the role of the ambulance service and the NHS Accident and Emergency Department. Especially when caring for a loved one, you can find yourself in a tricky situation of having to make a decision. Often, we make the wrong choice, and unfortunately, this is putting a great strain on our services. On average, 200 hours a day of paramedics' time is wasted, and that's just with the South West Ambulance Service. Sadly, this can be from people wasting time on purpose, as well as just not knowing, like the people in this image. In programs like Ambulance and 999 Watch Your Emergency, we can see the mistakes people are making when deciding if they need an ambulance or not. And it's not just alcohol or drugs that can affect our decisions, it can also be loneliness or mental health. We just need to think, is it really an emergency? It's only been recently that adverts about how to make the best use of your pharmacy and GP surgery have come out on TV. Unfortunately, these adverts are hidden between other shopping and food adverts, making it hard to remember what has been said. This information is unlikely to make it to your long-term memory. So I thought, although some don't, the majority of people have access to the internet. So what if I Googled when to dial 999? The information is written down and accessible to most, so surely this should be better than adverts. Google told me, call 999 in a medical emergency when someone is seriously ill or injured and their life is at risk. Medical emergencies can include loss of consciousness. The question then is, what is a serious illness or injury? If you break an arm, you're unlikely to drop dead there and then, but you're also unlikely to want to carry on with your daily activities. More detail is needed. As we're in the South West, I Googled the South West Ambulance Service. Here is their homepage. Then I clicked on what we do, then I scrolled down to accident and emergency, and I clicked on that, and finally got some information. It takes a long time to find the information, and you've got to know what you're looking for as well. The other issue is that it's an automatic response to phone 999 to a medical situation. It's a number we all know well. Help will get you, but not every health issue needs a paramedic. We need to try and change people's behaviour so that the most urgent cases get priority. It's perfectly normal to worry about the person who is injured or unwell, but something needs to be done to control the panic. There's also people who don't have access to the internet. Where is their information? Could there be an easier way? People may not have access to the internet, but hopefully they'll have a fridge. All this information on these fridge magnets is useful. If there's one about what not to feed your pets, there should be one about how to seek the correct medical attention for you. The information will always be in the middle of your home and easy access. And when you aren't at home, you can take a picture on your phone or even take it with you if you're going on holiday. Most people in the UK own a property or are linked to an address, so it can be received by post. It's simple to carry out and can be delivered by the Royal Mail to every home in the UK. I know this example shown is simple, but it gives an idea of what a future magnet could look like. This could also be developed into an app designed to give numbers of mental help closest to the location of your device. At university, I wished to study paramedic science. After my training, I don't particularly want to make someone a cup of tea, or put a plaster on a paper cut, or even look after a poorly pet, which has actually happened to medical staff before. I want to be able to care for people who actually need emergency medicine. I'm perfectly happy to make someone a cup of tea after I've treated them, but I don't want it to be the only reason why I went to them. So could something be done to sort out this situation? With a shortage of paramedics and highly trained healthcare professionals, what could we do? It costs around £250 every time an ambulance is called out. There needs to be a different approach. Another element to the problem is people's mental health. Due to society being more pressured today than it ever has before, more and more of these call-outs are for mental health patients. Mental health can't be treated with a plaster, so it needs to be dealt with differently to how you treat a physical injury. I remember this quote said by a paramedic on a TV programme. We are the ambulance service. We are not great at providing complex mental health interventions. So what can be done? Could there be a fourth emergency service? This would involve extra option when you phone 999. Police, fire, ambulance, and support. Someone who can still come to your location but doesn't need to be in highly trained emergency medicine. This could be a mental health supporter, someone to talk to, or just a first responder. Just having an awareness of what the ambulance service is there for can help many. The right care can get to the people who need it most. Whatever happens, something must be done to take the pressure off our emergency care system. In general, we as humans have an inbuilt desire to look after each other. We perhaps need to focus our education of the younger generation on promoting confidence to think and act quickly, to have self-reliance and the skills and understanding to cope, identify and react to a medical emergency in order for the ambulance service and the NHS as a whole to cope with the rising demands of our society. Thank you for listening.